How's that?
That's it. All right.
Um,
Good evening, everyone. We are starting our Thursday night Zoom, and tonight it's going to be element six. So if we've got 26 elements, this is the sixth one. We're getting there. So the first five that we did, we're kind of getting the momentum started and getting your mindset on what you need to do to get started, basically. Now we're going to delve into what a healthy weight is all about. So tonight, this one is called How Do You Create a Healthy Weight? So that's what it's all about. And that's basically why most of us got to this point to begin with, because we wanted to change the way we looked, lose some weight. Is it always about weight? No, it's not. But that's what most of us had on our mind to begin with. And then we realized there's so much more to good health. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But before we do, those that are here, is there anyone that did their homework from last week? I think that answers it. Just look on their faces. Okay. Um, I attempted it a couple of times and I caught myself and had to stop and just kind of be quiet and listen. So I was really being mindful, and then I'd catch myself doing it. And it's like, no, stop and do it again. And then I'm trying. I really did try. I was not successful every time, but I was trying and I was listening better. But that's all I can say. So tonight we're going to talk about healthy weight and how to create that. So let me share the screen and see if we can get this thing working tonight. We shall see. All righty. I think, can you see that okay? Everything so far so good? All right. So this is LifeBook Element 6, How Do You Create a Healthy Weight? And it's a fairly short element. They call it elements instead of chapters. But basically, what it is helping you to understand how you do this. And so the answer to this question is actually in the question. So knowing where you're going from the start is like the answer is embedded in the question. You create a healthy weight. How do you create it? You just create it. So you have to know where you're going. And I think all of us knew we wanted to lose weight. We wanted to feel better. We wanted to have energy, sleep better, just feel better all over. So that's what we wanted. That's where we were going from the start. So the answer being embedded there, you have to create the healthy weight. And to do that, you kind of have to know what you're wanting and where to go from there. So the creative process, well, it's at the center of everything. So to create a healthy weight, you have to know the aspects of what you want to do when you transform. So this one is going to give us the motivation to go forward and understand where we are and where we're going. Now, to get to the creative outcomes, we have to use the next step, which is the creative process. But to do the creative process, we're going to go back to that habit loop that Kyra told us about in element 3, about the cue, the routine, and the reward. That's the habit loop. This is going to be the key that gives us that creative process so we'll know how to create health, a healthier body. So Dr. A teaches, don't eliminate the cue, change the routine and create a new healthy routine. And then you'll be okay and you will get the result that you're wanting, and it'll become automatic. And when it becomes automatic, then you're going to get the rewards that you're wanting. So look at the 3 little bullet points. Cue, in case you've forgotten, because it's been a few days, weeks. The cue, it's something that triggers the behavior, like a time of day or an emotion, a place, or a situation. I'm going to go with time of day. I'm going to be client X, okay? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I can remember all my life when I would come in from school at 3 o'clock, mom would have cookies and milk for us. So every day at 3 o'clock, I have to have a snack. I just have to have a snack. So that's something that triggers a behavior where I'm reaching for something sweet every day because I've always done it. So that's a habit. That's just a habit. Do I have to have it? No. But it's a cue so that at that time of day, you know you want something. So now let's keep the cue right where it is. Don't eliminate the cue. Let's change the routine. Instead of reaching for cookies and milk, why don't we reach for a fueling? Or why don't we reach for something healthy, a carrot? Or, that's not as healthy as we need, but it's healthier than cookies and milk, okay? But reach for something that's going to keep that habit in place, that cue, with something that's going to be healthier for you. So change the routine, but keep that habit, that cue, and then start making better habits at that same cue time. All right, so the routine is the action you want to take, the habit you want to create in place of that old one. Maybe it's an emotion. Now, that's me. I don't know how many times I've said, it doesn't matter if I'm happy or sad or mad or glad or whatever. Whatever the emotion is, I want to eat. That has been my thing to say all my life. So I've had to learn that I don't have to have something every time I have one of those emotions. What do I do now? I grab water, and I keep this big old jug with me everywhere I go. People wonder about me, but I do drink it. It's full of water. Had caffeine earlier. Now it's just ice water. So I keep that routine. I keep the habit. So when I'm needing something or I feel like I've got to have something because of whatever emotion it is, the habit's there. The cue is there. It's the habit that's changed. The actual habit itself has changed to it's water or something better for me. And then the reward. We all want a reward. So when you're rewarding yourself with something that actually makes you feel better, your brain can get what it likes because it feels good now, and it's going to want to repeat that same habit. It's not going to want to go back to the one that makes you sluggish or sleepy or anything like that. It's going to want to go to the one that is a good feeling. When you change the routine, make new habits, your reward is better because now you realize you're reaching those goals step by step by step. You're getting closer to the goal that you want, whether it's less weight, better energy, deep, restful sleep, your clothes fit better. People go, oh, what are you doing? All those things are rewards that your brain goes, yeah, that's what I wanted. It doesn't matter which one it is, but there's going to be something there that's a reward that helps you to go back and do the same thing again. So the creative process and how we now can take those desired outcomes and place them in a structural tension chart helps us focus on what we want to create. We're going to talk about the structural tension here in a little bit. So we don't want to leave anything out in the big wide world because we have learned, we've got the books, we've got this book, whether you've got it in the hard copy or whether you have it electronically or you've got it audio. We all have access to it. And if you don't, you let us know. We'll get you connected with it. But these books help us to stay solid and stay focused on what we're doing. So we're not leaving anything to chance that would catch you off guard. We're preparing you. That's why we've been going through these so slowly and going through each one to make sure you're prepared for each thing that can come your way. Are we always going to be perfect? No, but we are doing our best to give you good skills to get you through whatever comes. So we're preparing you for real life getting in the way, and it will, and giving you ways and skills and tools to work on to help you manage your emotions and your environment in a progressively skillful way. That doesn't mean it's perfect every time, but you're going to get better each time. You'll do a little bit better each time. And hopefully you have one of our coaches who've been trained to help you successfully use your LifeBook to progress toward better health. So that's what we want to do, is make sure that going through this book is helping you. I talked to a girl just the other day. She said, I never realized how much I needed that book until we started doing this. She says, now I want to read the rest of it. So she's in the process of getting her a book also, because she said, this is good stuff. So with that being said, I mentioned a minute ago that we're going to talk about the structural tension chart. And so let's see if we can get that pulled up here. Next. Oops, I went too far. Structural tension chart. So current reality, that's the one down below there. Your unhealthy habits, your low energy, and then there's a gap from there to where you want to be, your desired vision, your healthy weight, your active lifestyle. And that gap, that's the tension. How do I get from here to there? How many of us, because there's going to be more people watching this on the recording, but how many of us have seen those then and now or before and after pictures of people from their unhealthy current reality to their desired vision? It's the then and now, or the before and after. And you've looked at that and thought, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to look like. That's the gap showing where you are now, where you can be if you do the work. And so we're trying to get that gap to narrow. And to do that narrowing of the gap, we do baby steps. We eat right. We keep the mental piece going, keeping strong, so that you don't back what I was talking about a minute ago, you're not going to stretch yourself to the point of it snapping. You want the structural tension, but you don't want it to snap. You want to keep it just a tension in there. So when you're doing this, you're learning the good skills, how to go through each day. That's why we're talking about the big wide world. Things happen, but you're learning some good skills to get you there and to get you past those tension places. In that gap, I want to say something here, because a lot of people, and I believe Sheila mentioned a minute ago, we were talking and she said that she had talked to a lady that wants to know what we're doing so she can do it on her own. It's almost impossible to do this on your own and to do it with fidelity and keep it off. I'm not saying she can't get the weight off, because here, I'm going to read this to you right straight from Dr. A's book, the LifeBook. It says approximately 85% of the people who go on a diet gain all their weight back and then some within about 2 years. The only habit they ever create is the habit of dieting over and over again. That's the yo-yo diet, which is not good for the body. How many have done it? Hello. Yes, I have. But you have to think about that. That's all they know. And they think, I just learned the skills from you. Tell me what I need to do. I'll go do it, because I don't need help. I don't need a coach. I don't need the books. I don't need a community. Well, yes, you probably do, but that's what they think. Anyway, so when they are doing this yo-yo dieting, this is probably what they're doing. They're probably restricting the calories, putting very little food in the body, and they diet for a while, and you probably will, not always, but you probably will lose some weight. But as soon as you stop that diet or you stop reducing your calories and go back to what you were doing, it's all going to come right back. So you've not learned any of the skills that we're trying to help you embed in here. You're not learning any of the skills that will get you there long term. And that's what we want to do, is make sure you're getting it long term. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I stay on point with this and not go over on time either. So let's see if I can get, there we go. So weight management. This is what I want to talk about, because the part of this that we're going to deal with is the fact that during that structural tension, we start out more or less overweight from where we want to be anyway. And then we try the weight loss, and then we get to a healthy weight. And when we get there, okay, are we going to stay there? We want to, but you can't just sit there, because if you're sitting still, oh, wait a minute, you can't. You're either going forward or back. You can't just sit still, because nothing's happening when you're just sitting still. To stay healthy, you're going to have a healthy weight, and you have to go into optimization and reset the body, get a new reset point so that your body, most people, when they are overweight or at their highest weight or whatever you want to call it, when you're doing it and you're trying to get healthy, your weight wants to go back to that set point. I'm going to use 150 because it's easy for me to think of. If you're at 150 and you decide you want to be down a little bit lower, but you do a little bit and then you just quit trying to count calories or whatever, it's going to go back to about 150. It goes back to the set point that it knows, and it's trying to get you back there. But when you do this plan with fidelity and you get to your healthy weight, and then we go into the what's next stage. I know that's a good technical term. What's next? Because you want to get to optimization, where you do it without thinking. You're making good choices. You know what's best for your body. You know what you need to do and to eat, and how to keep your body healthy. That's optimization. When you get into that, where it just happens without thinking, that's when the habits have gotten in here where they need to be. And then you can get into the longevity where you can do it long term without thinking about it. It becomes part of who you are. That's what this is about. So we don't want you just to go from overweight to healthy weight and then go, oh, back, I'm going to go back and do my own thing and go back to my old habits. No, we need to go to the next step. What's next? Optimization, learning how to make those lifelong habits. And then you can do it for life. The longevity is there. And that's what we want to do. Dr. A himself was at our Awaken event, and he is in his 70s. He's been doing this plan. He doesn't actually do the 5-in-1 or anything like that right now, but he still says he likes to have his brownie every morning for breakfast. That's his favorite breakfast. And he has been at a good weight for about 30 years because he's learned the skills. I mean, he wrote the book. He should know the skills. So he's been doing that for so long that it has become just habit to stay on point, to eat well, to feel good. And he likes to go skiing with his girls. And he even does heli skiing. I had never heard of that until he said they take you up in a helicopter and they drop you out on some fresh snow on top and you go down the mountain right straight out of a helicopter. And it's called heli skiing. And I'm like, I probably won't ever do that. So anyway, healthy weight management, there are phases of that. And we're going to look at some of the phases. And well, before I go there, I want to go here. In the book, those that have the book, we have what we call a BMI chart. And this will actually show your body mass index. That's what BMI stands for. And it is a pretty wide range. So it doesn't really matter what age you are. You should fit into the range. The different colors, if it's in the red zone, that's obese. If it's in the orange zone, you're overweight. If it's healthy, it's green. And if you're underweight, it's blue. So you want to stay in that green spot. And it's got a good wide range there. So whether you're 15 or whether you're 75 or older or 80, I mean, my oldest one's 90, even up to that, you can get within that range or really close to it, because as you age, it's not going to hurt you to have a little bit extra around the edges. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. But I just wanted you to see that body mass index chart is very helpful to help us stay on point. And it really helps now that we have the metabolic scale. I think most people have a metabolic scale. And if you are on here or watching this and do not have one, reach out to me. Let me see what I can do to get you one. The next thing I want to do is the waist circumference. And I'm going to share a picture on the scale on the screen here in a minute, but it's in the book. And it's talking about your waist circumference lets you evaluate the visceral fat. Until we got these metabolic smart scales, the only way we had to evaluate the visceral fat around your middle and to get a good indicator of if your fat is being held there and it could be maybe a challenge with your health was to use a tape measure. And you would measure just above your hips and horizontal all the way around. And you had to have a certain percentage, certain inches or less to be healthy. And that's what we would go by. Now we've got the metabolic scale, which really is helpful. And that's the page I've been holding up right there. At the bottom, it says your health is at risk if your waist at that place that shows there where you're measuring just above the hips. If men are 37 inches around or more, they are at risk. If women are 31.5 inches or more around, they're at risk. And some of us are right there close because of our age and body structure. So that's just a good round number. I don't think it's totally exact because I don't have a waist. So without a waist, I'm going to be larger there always. The way my bone structure is, I don't have an indentation like most women do. So that's why I say that. But it's still good information because it gives you a little guideline to go by. But I really love the metabolic scale. And like I said, if you're watching the recording, get with me if you don't have one. All right, let's see, going the wrong way here. In the book also, we have body fat itself. And this is just, I took the picture right out of the book, snapped a picture of it, and it talks about your body fat at the different ages, because you can have a higher level of body fat depending on your age. So it just makes a difference. And that's what I was talking about on the BMI chart. That's what it is. You're a different age. You're going to have a little bit more weight because you're going to have less muscle, unless you go to the gym a lot, and which I'm trying to do, but we're working on that. But it just helps to know that. And it's in the book. It's got it there for those that can see it. But it really will help you to know these pieces, and that the fact that they correlate closely with what the metabolic scale is helping us with. So the numbers are going to be really close with what the metabolic scale is showing us also. Let's see, what's the next one? That is the last one. Okay. I didn't think I put anything else in here. The rest of the book is talking about what phase you are in currently, and creating your own first structural tension chart for weight management. Baby steps, like if you start at, I'm going to use the 150 again. If you start at 150 and you want to get to 125, baby steps, you're going to drop 5 pounds. My next little goal is going to be another 5 pounds. And you just do little baby steps so that it doesn't feel like you've got to drop this huge chunk all at one time. And the rest of the book is like that. It's just helping you to learn how to put the structural tension together and to know what it's all about. Now, does anyone have any questions or comments? Because we've got time, and I would love for you to go ahead and talk, share questions or concerns or whatever, that something you learned from this that you have a question about.
One thing I've been thinking about is I know there's probably recipes, things I make that I don't know if I'll ever eat again, or very infrequently. Like I make meatloaf at least once a week, and I love my meatloaf. It was the same as my mother's meatloaf. So I'm thinking, well, if I'm not going to have that, I'm going to need to think of recipes I can fix it. So I'm trying to think of and look at recipes that I can uh, pick out and have those instead, so that I won't be having those.
Okay, that's
'Cause-
good. But you love meatloaf, right?
right.
If I gave you about 3 meatloaf recipes, you think you could fix them, keep them on point, and tweak it a little bit to where it tastes as close as possible to mom's?
I could try. I think the thing that I like so much about it is the sugar I put in it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not going to have any sugar in it. Okay. You put sugar in meatloaf?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
well, I can't.
my mom did. Yeah.
Okay. See, it's back to the old habits that they learned. My mom put sugar in every vegetable she ever put on the stove to cook. Now, I don't care what the vegetable was, it had sugar in it. And my grandpa hated it. He said, I don't know why you put sugar in everything. You're ruining the flavor. But that's what she did. So that's what my mom did. And that's what I used to do. I don't anymore. But it's one of those things that you have to break some of those habits.
Yeah.
The sugar,
Send me the recipes. I'll check them out.
okay, I wrote myself a note to send you some meatloaf
Okay.
recipes. uh, Anything else?
I think one important thing that we don't always think about is that BMI is a tool. It's not something that you're going to stress about, because if you don't make the cut for your size and your body type, it doesn't mean you failed. It just means your body is where it is going to be, no matter what you do. So don't ever give up on you. Just use that as a tool, a guiding tool, not a defining tool.
I agree completely. And that's why I mentioned myself, because my waist at the lowest I've been has never been below 31 and a half. Never has. Because of the way I don't have, most women have a gap between the lowest rib and then the hip bones. My gap is about like that. So I just don't have that indentation where you're supposed to have a waistline. Mine just goes like this. So my waist has never gotten that small. I'm trying to get down a few more pounds, but I don't think it's going to make a difference right there. But I'm just going to see what I can do. But do I sweat about it? No. Do I fret about it? No. It's just who I am. So it's the way I was made, and it'll be okay because I know the rest of me is healthy. And I agree with Kyra on that one completely.
Yeah, I mean, we're all working every day to make an improvement, and it's
Yes.
not going to be an overnight thing.
Mhm.
So when we stress about it, what happens with your cortisol? What happens with everything else?
Yeah.
So
Stress will not
don't
help
sweat
you
the
at all.
small stuff.
Yeah. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't stress the small or big stuff. Just go day at a time, step at a time, and that's all we can
One
do.
choice at a time.
One choice at a time, one step at a time, one fueling at a time, one glass of water at a time. Yes, one thing at a time. And that's really all we can do because this is not a sprint to the finish. This is a marathon. It's a lifelong
Life.
learning of what's best for us. So we'll be healthy now, 10 years from now, still be healthy, 20 years from now, still be healthy. And I'm going to work to get to 100 or die trying. Well, that's fact. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So that's your goal. You want to know what
That's
one
my
of
goal.
my big goal is? To
What?
still be doing 5Ks when I'm 80 or 90 years old. Still be doing those 5Ks.
I think of Miss Sharon. How old is she now? She's in her 80s
Yes.
and she's still doing the 5Ks. Yeah.
And she's had knee replacements
Yeah.
and still does it.
Yeah.
Her speed, but she does it
It's at
from
her
start
speed,
to
but
finish.
she's doing the do.
She's done them in a walker.
Yeah. Because she was determined she wasn't going to
Mhm.
miss. Yeah. And
So be
I would like to
determined
do
for
that.
your own health, for your own
You
life.
have to advocate for yourself and do
Mhm.
what's best for your health. That's right.
Sheila, what's your
Um,
big goal?
What's my big goal? Well,
Uh-huh.
right now, I want just if I can lose the weight. Oh, I know what. I want to lose the weight and be able to skip again.
Oh, yes.
I remember
Yes, I
that.
love it.
I I lost my skip.
Oh,
You
well,
want to
you're going to
skip.
find that skip again.
I couldn't believe it when I found that when I realized that. I was so disappointed.
I
You
did
did.
that
Yes.
before. And then when I joined the gym and they're asking me to skip, I'm like, no. I
Have
found
you
it
tried it?
though.
You found it again?
I found it.
Good. Good.
I can't do it standing still though. I have to go. There's a skip that they want you to do where you're standing still. It's hard.
I want to move. When I'm skipping, I want to move.
Yeah. I want to move where I'm going to go.
Yeah. Skip and jump rope.
That is awesome. I
Yeah,
love
jump.
it.
I used to love jump rope.
Hmm.
Now, is there anyone that's not on camera that has a
Patty?
goal or a question that you'd like to mention? I guess not. Okay. Um, let's go ahead and we will stop the recording, do a little prayer, and then we will just post this. And you know what? Kyra just did the same thing that I did. She was going to stop the recording and yeah, knocked herself off the thing.
Oh no.
She'll be back. Let me see if it's recording. There she is. You're muted. You're muted, Kyra.